see if this works. This works. Okay. So, Antonio, how are the shows? Your In Castillo shows, how are they? Did it go fine? Not sure that Antonio can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, not sure that Antonio can.
Okay. Pretty part of the country you live in, the world, I guess.
Yeah, I'm from Belgium. Antonio is from Italy, I think. And you're from the US somewhere, I remember. Right?
Texas. Central Texas.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Better known as hell. It was 112 degrees. That's 44 Celsius yesterday.
Wow. You must have some very good air conditioning at your place.
And a lot of broken air conditioning in the neighborhood too. It's most of it's burning out. You just can't keep up with the heat.
Oh, really? Huh. Hey, Dragica. She hasn't got any video going on. Not sure that Antonio hears us. I'm just chatting. See, there's a chat window to the left in case you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. See it now.
So you seem to play some other interesting instruments also. What's that behind you? Is that some kind of a
Hammered dulcimer.
A hammered dulcimer, yeah. I've never actually seen one. Joni Mitchell was playing one on one of her records, I remember.
They're quite a nice. It's a kind of an ancient instrument, really. It's like a piano without dampers and without keys.
And so, what else?
You are the key.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a part of it is you just like guitar picks, only they're bigger.
And so you
customize different feel to them.
You hit with them, right? Right. Yeah, that's nice. Cool.
Yeah, like that.
Dragica has some problems. I'm just going to tweet to Antonio because I think that he thinks that we're not saying anything.
Need to learn sign language.
Yeah, I'm just sending him a direct message. Direct message.
He disappeared.
Maybe he understood that something was wrong. It's not easy to set things up if you want to play the Eigenharp at the same time. So I spent a while figuring it out last time. You have to kind of route things to an external mixer and stuff like that if you want to do it correctly. So which model have you been playing with? The Alpha, right?
Alpha, piano black, ebony keys, and gold trim.
Awesome.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, the gold trim on the on piano black must be something. That must be really something.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So how are you getting along with it?
Bit by bit, little by little. I think it's a wonderful, built, responsive, all those things instrument. Of course, the software and all it can do in the documentation is still a little behind.
But it's so complex that it's difficult to write documentation for everyone that that fits in the right spot for everyone. That's why I think it's so nice that people on Twitter and on all these different social networks are helping each other and kind of gearing the information towards and the forums also towards what you personally are looking for.
Yeah. I would also imagine that you don't have as many people as Microsoft does doing software development.
No, we don't. And we really share responsibilities, right? So yes, we've got several software developers, and then customer support is also handled for some part by us. And then writing documentation also. We've got Neil doing marketing and support also, but it's like sharing the time that's available.
Yeah, I can understand. I would like to. I mean, it's not very well known in this country, and especially in this part of this country.
Right.
And I would like to be kind of like a demonstrator or something, not necessarily a salesman, but a demonstrator.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like I have to get further along, and I think also you guys have to get further along, with your development.
Yes. Yeah, we're doing well. There's going to be quite some nice new stuff coming out in version 2 in a couple of months, I think. I don't know when it's exactly scheduled for, but once Workbench, it's starting to look very good, Workbench. But once it's gotten out there to the public and people realize how everything can change underneath and how you can rewire things like a modular synth system, then the gears start spinning.
My gears are already spinning. I spent about 1.5 years on Ableton Live.
Yeah.
That is another thing. It's just, I mean, you just can't believe all the stuff you can do with it, and how many ways you can interconnect things and invent things and all that. And then, well, now I can use the Eigenharp to talk to Ableton, and I'm going, oh my God.
Right.
It's like you're falling off a cliff. There's just so much possibilities, and you go, what do I really want to do with it?
It's really dangerous because you can easily dive off this, like you say, this steep cliff and just continue configuring and trying stuff out, and it's a dangerous thing. Yeah, Dragica, your video doesn't seem to be working. And Antonio's sound doesn't seem to be working. Oh, I can hear you. Yeah, I heard something, Antonio.
It's on the Mac, but it's getting out to my...
It's very faint. It's very soft, so we can't hear you well enough. Maybe you can turn up the volume or something.
No, it's on the built-in microphone.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yep.
So how are the shows? That must have been an exciting
this way
experience.
Yeah, very, very much. A lot of hard work, but it paid off.
You had a good attendance? A lot of people?
To put a video. Yeah, it went okay also.
Cool. So was this just for those 3 shows, or will be doing that again later on?
No, that show, it's only 3 times.
Wow, a lot of preparation for that.
Yeah.
Larry, have you seen those pictures?
His performance?
Yeah, he sent out some pictures that I retweeted them. Also put them on the Eigenharp's Facebook.
I think I saw 2 of them. It's a very old building he was in.
Yeah,
that was very pretty.
Yeah, it's lovely to see that. It's this contrast of this instrument in this medieval setting. It's quite a good fit, actually.
Yeah.
That was good.
So what are you working on, Larry, with your Eigenharp?
Learning it.
And how are you doing that? Because it's interesting to know how everyone kind of approaches this.
Well, I'm trying to do it little by little. I've gotten everything in the factory setup 1, which is just the one big keyboard, and I figure all the other ones are just multiple duplications of that. So if I learn everything in the big keyboard, then I can multiply that later on if I want to.
Right.
And so I've been able to do a lot of things with it. I'm just now getting to branch out into actually trying to get the MIDI output working.
Mm-hmm.
I have an old TX81 box I'm going to try for starters, and then when I get that working, then I'll go ahead and go to Ableton, I think.
Right.
But first I got to get that working, and my MIDI is coming out of a digital I/O box by Focusrite,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a plug on the back. I haven't started to hook things up or figure out how I get Eigen to start talking to that. So.
Right. You will probably need a MIDI interface that's connected to your computer, so that you can actually get a physical connection out.
That's what the Sapphire has in it.
Okay.
Sapphire Pro.
Hey Duncan, nice to see you again.
Hi there, good.
Yeah. Are you finished for the day or on a coffee break again?
Coffee break. I'm just taking a half day today. I was in Copenhagen over the weekend, so only just back and consequently working from home again.
Right.
Which is going to be unusual. This slot isn't any better for me than the Monday morning one, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, it's difficult to find a time slot that works for everyone across the globe.
Are you recording again today?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's good.
It's starting to be a good hangout this time. There's a number of people, so that's it's starting to look like a clubhouse.
Good.
Dragica has got some connection problems. She sadly can't make it, apparently. So what have you guys been up to with the Eigenharp this week? Duncan, anything interesting?
Well, not a lot. I was just jamming for a little while last week. I had another go at trying to get the inline effects working for me.
Right.
I'm still having no joy.
Huh.
So what I think I'll try and do is record the steps that I'm taking, starting from factory setup 1, and maybe post them to the forum and see what.
Yeah, or send me an email directly, and we can try to work through it. See what's going on. It's really weird. Yeah.
Yep, that'd be great.
Yeah, I use Stage on my alpha and was able to get that working.
Okay.
What Duncan tries to do is, if I understood correctly, he tries to control certain parameters of inline effects with controllers from his Eigenharp. So the strip controller, and then changing the actual filters on the cutoff frequency and stuff like that on an inline effect. Yeah,
what I'm seeing is even that once I enable the inline effect, it's cutting out the sound completely. So as I say, I'm a little puzzled, but
maybe there's some kind of another control that that is tied together and that kind of cuts things out. I don't know. What kind of plugin are you using?
Well, I figured that since you've got the Fromage plugin working at last week's Hangout, I'd try that. And as I say, still no joy.
No,
when I enable the FX, it cuts the sound out completely. So, as I say, I'll record the steps that I'm taking and see whether that sheds any light.
Yeah, it's quite weird. Are you sure that you're actually turning the effect on, the inline effect? Because I seem to remember something that if you turn it off, actually no sound is coming through at all. So maybe you've got the steps the wrong way around.
Maybe that's it.
Because I'm not sure if it's that part. I know that on the Pico there are some lights that are actually indicating whether something is bypassed or not, and not whether something is turned on or not. So that it's green when it's actually bypassed, which is a little bit confusing if you're not aware of that at first. Maybe it's something like that.
That could be it.
Hey Dragica, we can see you now.
Hi. Okay, now.
Now we can hear you also.
There were some problems with the connection.
Technology. We've been able to see your wonderful couch. in the video.
Yeah, I'm sitting on it right now.
It's very futuristic looking. Have you guys seen her video that she posted on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
It's very experimental. You said you were doing experimental music. It is.
I like it.
I tried to do some stuff I wouldn't have been able to do on anything else probably.
Right. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see that. You should post some more. It's a lot of gets people's ideas going, floating into different directions.
Yeah. I think the next one will be something where I use Super Collider or Pure Data. So open software that anybody can use without paying anything. So maybe I can find something to do there.
Yeah, that would be cool. Oh, went away. Was that Antonio? He's got connection problems also. So yeah, we were talking about learning the Eigenharp a little bit earlier, and how are you approaching that, Duncan?
Just simply trying to pick a song and try and play it. Start off with a melody line, and as I was saying last week, try not to get too bogged down in the individual sort of details of plugins and presets. Yeah.
And how are you doing it, Dragica?
The same actually. I have. There's the time where I play around with plugins and so on, and there's the time where I try to really find out what I can do with the sounds.
So do you play cover versions, or do you just compose on the Eigenharp when you work with it, or?
I just improvise.
You just improvise.
I mean, I have played the piano, and there I had, all the normal sheet music stuff, and I was bored to death by that. So now I'm trying to just have it evolve.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there. Was some sound from Antonio? Was some sound from Antonio coming in at the same time? I think.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I'm bored with the sheet music stuff. I just improvise and try to find, the sounds that come. Because actually it's difficult. You can do cover versions, but oftentimes the sounds evolve just because of the sounds I use, and you have to give them room so they can evolve. Right. And that's not really working if you work with traditional
That's
music.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck in that traditional mindset. It's the bane of my existence.
Well, it adds to my complexity because I'm trying to discover and invent new music rather than the more traditional things that I've played in the past. I figure everybody's already done that, sort of, But I'm trying to come up with some new kind of Eigenharp 10 and so forth. And
Okay, I thought I figured out the Soundflower problem, but I can't hear you guys at the moment, sorry. I think I'm back. I can hear you again. I'm sorry, Larry, you got interrupted by some technical problem at my end.
Oh. I think...
Last thing I heard you say was that you were looking also for creating new music.
Yeah, getting away from the standard 12-tone things that so much of our music has been based on for hundreds of years, and standard rhythms and things like this, and trying to come up with something new and different And it's kind of like when people started going to expressionist painting in the visual arts,
Right.
trying to figure out what the equivalent in music is. And it's an interesting search, but leaves you feeling lost a bit sometimes.
Yeah. I would like to do something like that also, but I guess it's not for me. It actually bores me personally when I do stuff like that, because I always have the impression that I'm going nowhere. It's cool to see so many different approaches to this.
Yeah, it's nice to have an audience that appreciates you, and when you're doing new stuff, there's not much for the audience, audience appreciation sometimes. That takes a while to develop.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, even
Yes.
just doing traditional stuff.
Yeah. It is a wonderful feeling when you have a chance to share what you're making with an audience. I definitely kind of miss that right now.
And so, do you do that? Are you just embarking on that journey with the Eigenharp, or have you been trying that with other instruments before?
Mostly with just using Ableton as an instrument.
Oh, right. You're controlling it from a keyboard then?
Huh?
You're controlling it from a keyboard then?
Keyboard or from something called a Launchpad.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which adds to the being different because it's just a big square of buttons, and when you actually translate that to MIDI notes, it's not your standard layout at all. So that makes you come up with some different stuff the way you push the keys, because they aren't where you expect notes to be.
Right.
It's a angular layout rather than a linear layout. So
yes. Yeah, this layouts
And
help
it
a
has
lot
blinking
for.
lights.
Sorry to hear.
It has blinking lights.
Yes.
Always
Yes.
important.
I've seen the Launchpad. It's nice. What is it? Is it
in fact,
makes this Novation that makes this, right?
right, Novation does a lot of stuff. And I was actually just making the lights flash pretty colors and patterns out of Ableton, and then I would convert that into music. So it's kind of an interesting way to come around with sounds.
Right. There's this.
Then turn into sounds.
Right. Alchemy has this feature. I've never actually used it, where you can take a picture and import it into the sampler engine and build a sound from the image that you actually imported into Camel Audio Alchemy. It sounds interesting.
I've seen a couple other programs that do that. I haven't messed with them yet, though. But there's even some you can get free downloads and stuff. And it seemed very interesting that you turn a picture into music and music into a picture and back and forth like that. But I haven't worked.
I have used processing for the picture part. I haven't done music with it, just visualization, but actually could do that. And I have thought of using the lights of the Eigenharp, but actually it's overkill. I use the camera when you can use the MIDI directly.
Right. So yeah, I've been mainly trying to come up with to extend my singer-songwriter heritage into the Eigenharp, because I've always wanted to play the piano and never was able to play the piano because I don't hate this way of putting your hands horizontally, and so yeah, I'm the traditionalist here.
Yeah, I've done a little.
It's nice that the Eigenharp gets you out from behind a keyboard as well. I mean,
yes,
you can actually walk about the stage and so on and so forth.
Antonio seems to be back.
Oh, I was trying not to connect it to my main desk to make it easier, but it wasn't. Let's see if this way I can. I've trouble listening and sending the audio.
Yeah, I have to do it also
I've-
on two different channels on the mixer. I'm sending my audio on one stereo pair and getting the audio of the Hangout on the other one.
Okay.
And that craps out.
But this way I can. Yeah. This way I don't have the sound of the alpha.
So Antonio, you were working on a classical piece for a long time, right? The back piece. And have you been working on something else after that?
Yes, I use that for mainly to get a hang of the fingering scales. I mainly stay on the chromatic scale. Sometimes I use your 7 octave, and it's also very good. You have some, but that's mainly it's trying to take memory muscle from the fingers or to the fingers. That's it.
Cool. And apart from that, are you working on originals with stuff, or are you working with other musicians to write arrangements? Because I'm trying to imagine what you do with that show that you just did. Was that music that you composed, or?
Yeah, I composed for theater pieces, dance pieces, jingles, that sort of thing. I used the alpha a lot on this new piece, and I've since I got it, I was trying to use it live, solo. I'm a bit far away from bands and sort of this.
You should record something else and put it on YouTube then, since it sounds like you're doing very, very interesting stuff.
Yeah, I have a lot of, as I've signed, training classic pieces, and not all that. I'll try to put some more on the YouTube now that I've premiered that piece and it's over now.
Right.
I have some spare time. Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, have any of you played with other musicians already with the Eigenharp?
Yes, my stuff is actually normally I have a colleague and we play together, and a concert, which is still not. I can't make it really public because I still haven't got the confirmation that it will be 2 together. Probably we will be 4 in the end. So I have my Eigenharp. He has a guitar where he uses every string. He uses the MIDI from the guitar to put on every string a different kind of sound. Then we have an electronic violin and a traditional oud without electronic at all. So that's the plan. And it's mostly improvised because, as you can imagine, it's really hard to put this stuff into scores.
Definitely, yeah. So I find it hard to play the Eigenharp with other musicians still at this time. It's funny because you kind of get back to the beginning of when you're not comfortable playing an instrument. It's like have to play in rhythm and playing together seems to be. I never realized it. Well, I hadn't realized it since a couple of years. Well, since 10 or 15 years, that playing in rhythm together with other people is actually an extremely difficult thing if you're not a total master of your instrument. So that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. Each time when I pick it up at band rehearsal, everything just goes south.
I'm lucky since I haven't played anything since 20 years. It's my first instrument in years. So I would be unsure of myself in anything.
Right.
I'm just having to swim. Somehow I have to get through that.
But you're very brave to do this. It's amazing. I think it's things like that will breed new stuff. People like you, Dragica, that is just not afraid of trying that out and just see what happens.
Yeah, they can't lynch me, even at the concert.
Right. Yeah, John Lambert was gonna try to come to one of the next Eigenharp Hangouts, the guy that invented the instrument. But he's gone on a vacation at the moment. But he'll probably be there in a couple of weeks. So he was very excited by the idea. Yes.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to see a few of the Eigenharp, long-time Eigenharp players again. I mean, we haven't seen Dave or sorry, I forget the other guy's name, who did a lot of the original videos.
Right.
Good to see again where they've got to. I don't know whether we've ever seen John play anything on YouTube or.
But John is not really an Eigenharp player. He tries it out whenever he's got time, but he hasn't got that much time. So
fair enough.
Yeah, he hasn't got time to sit down and really practice. So he tries more the user interface aspects of it, in terms of interacting with the instrument and with the software and things like that. Yeah, and Dave and Finley and Mark are actually they've gone on their own freelance path now. So they're all in different directions. So Dave is doing a lot with the circus now, I heard. So he's some kind of circus where he plays the Eigenharp. And Mark has gone back to guitar teaching and playing a little bit of the Eigenharp. And Finley, I don't know what he does. So yeah, I hope that they will record new stuff when they've got something to show. I think they recorded a new video with their band a couple of months ago. I don't know if you've seen that.
I think I've only seen one.
And there was a second one by BangStroke. What is it called? BangStrokeBlow? Blow? Something like that? Let me see what that is.
The one with the tomato?
Sorry?
Is this the one with the tomato that gets squashed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've tried not to look. It looks somehow brutal.
Well, they've got 2 videos apparently. Three apparently on there. Let me just paste the link. This is their YouTube site. Actually, well, we're on a Hangout. We should be able. Let's try this out. We should be able to watch YouTube together.
Okay, switch to YouTube.
Hang on. So BangStrokeBlow. So are you guys seeing this video also?
I believe I've seen the tomato before.
Yeah. This is another one, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's their latest one.
should put a link on Twitter so we can watch it. Ones that aren't seeing it, I'm not seeing it, so
Are you not seeing it?
maybe it's censored.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're just sitting there. So you're not seeing it? So you're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, I'm just watching everybody. Wondering what is that in your ceiling up there?
On my ceiling there? It's a lamp. Just put it on Twitter.
Okay, thank you.
I do love their videos. It's actually the guy that that did the video tutorials for the Eigenharps is Nick. Is the guy that does their videos also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he had had some professional training and does that really well.
Yeah, the videos look good.
Oh, okay.
So, anything you guys want to talk about?
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you settled on any keyboard layouts that you like to use on your Eigenharp when you play it? I mean, there's so many options available, and it's unlike anything else. I was wondering if you had settled on anything.
I personally try to use as much as possible the 7-octave one that I posted on Eigenzone, which has no overlapping keys. That's the one that I use the most at the moment, but it's also the one that takes a lot of time to learn because it is in chromatic mode and you've got 120 different keys that do different. No, because there's this bottom part that doesn't do anything. So about 91 or 90 different keys, 90 different notes that play. So it's a lot of errors to make. While when I also like to go back to the scale, the layer that you're playing in now, Larry, which is split 1. That's just set into into a scale, major or minor scale, and don't think, just play. I like that.
Yeah, everything sounds good.
I do like the repeating notes. Sometimes I'm a piano player since I know myself, and I like the repeating notes that I never had on a piano. Piano has 88 keys and all have different sounds. And in the chromatic, okay, there's a lot of repeating notes, but it's got their magic. Okay, we only get two octaves, a bit so. But I like to play that way also in chromatic. that's the most difficult one. I also think.
Yeah, the repeating notes. The nice thing about it is that it turns the keyboard into an isomorphic keyboard. So any shape that works at one place will always work anywhere else on the keyboard, which is the very nice aspect of it. It kind of jump starts the learning curve. You get away from if you're in the one that I like, then you've got to learn You got this chord shape, then this shape, and this shape, and then you got to go back to that shape, and because you're restrained to this, this square of 4, and then you have to fit everything in that square of 4 by 5, which means that you start to think in complex thought process again, and how do we reverse the chords so that they fit in there and stuff like that. So yeah, it's. But it's funny to hear you say you come from the piano and you like having repeated frets.
Yeah.
Bye, Duncan. While I come from the guitar and I had repeated notes.
Yes,
I think, it's nice that I don't have them.
It's strange to think back that way. Yeah. I always looked at guitarist players. They all have that bench of repeating notes and bending notes. The same note bending and stuff like that, and I haven't never had that, right. And now I have that, and I think that it's fantastic to have, even to play a piano sound and use that. It's intriguing. That's the least.
So where do you put your marker lights there? You put it on the root and on the 5th?
Yeah, I think it's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I added them on the 5th at one time also, but then I scaled it back down to just the root.
Yeah, I think this is just enough. I have a dummy output, so I can put it on and put it off.
Right.
Just activate it.
Yes.
Like this.
Ah, that's interesting. I haven't thought of that before.
Yeah, you can take it off and take it in. It's sort of.
Yeah, it's a good idea to put that in a different output.
Yeah. In the other setup, I also have, like, this is the chromatic, but I can have the major, the minor scale, and different dummy outputs.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah, I use the outputs also for something like that. Yeah, it's. It's a nice way of customizing your Eigenharp. I do it for live performance. I kind of take a whole bunch of talker phrases that change the scale, change the layout, change the instrument, and I attach that to one output. So let me see. So here I've got a similar thing as you have, just rows of lights here. That allow me to switch through different setups that I've set up, different instruments, different program changes, layouts on the keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
that's nice. That's nice.
I didn't think of doing that for the lights. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
We should post about that on the forum.
Okay, I can put it on. Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be interested in that.
Sounds very helpful.
One thing we're looking into that is going to happen sometimes in the future is currently the marker lights are kind of based on the layout of how your courses on your Alpha's layout have been structured. So if you change layout, your lights will change also.
They change also. Yeah.
Yeah, we're disconnecting that for version 2 so that you can really have the lights and then the musical keys underneath and have this like a layer on top that is different, and possibly also tie it into the scales so that you could have lights set up based on the distance of the root and stuff like that.
Yeah, I try to join with the scales, but my bel canto doesn't.
But you can't. It's not possible to tie it to the scales at this time.
Okay.
But it should. It should be able to. You should be able to do it. So
it was easier if they are tied with the scales. Since we are in major, it shows up in major, or when we change it to chromatic. Yeah, no problem. This way, I think it's nice.
Yeah, different outputs. A good idea. I haven't thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Can I ask something? Sure. Is it possible that maybe you put in the wiki a part, in the Eigenlabs wiki, a part for the users? Because if he posts the stuff in the forum, it's hard to find I mean, now, okay, we could all go and look, but let's say in a year or something, it's hard to find. So maybe we could have a part where
but there is one, I think. There is.
Yes.
You can edit whatever you want, actually. Just apart from the reference documentation, if you're logged in with your Eigenlabs account, apart from the reference documentation, I think that all the rest can be edited by the users.
Yeah, I've done some stage mappings for the Pico, and I've put it on.
Yes.
On there. Yeah.
I've seen several people making changes to it on several users, so it's possible. I can't check because I've got a staff account that allows you to do everything, but I know there are some parts that we don't allow you to change just because we would like to keep an eye on the reference, for example, reference documentation. Because this is now, so the reference documentation of EigenD, for example, with all the agents, is going to be tied in with the software itself, so that the documentation is actually in sync all the time. And whenever we release a version, we get the latest from the wiki down. But if people start, introducing errors there, it kind of gets into the shipped software, so that would be a problem. Yeah. So, but for the rest, I think you can edit it.
Then I have looked. But then I have only seen the reference and didn't see the other ones. Okay, good.
Yes, if you
maybe not in the forum, but the wiki.
Yeah, if you just go to the main wiki page there, then you can hope. Typically, something like that would be in EigenD tips and tricks and how-tos, and I think you can just edit that. I think you can just add new stuff to that hierarchy.
No, there you go. I think this one is closed.
This one, the tips and tricks one, is closed?
Yeah, the main page.
Oh, the main page, that's possible. But if you go to one of the sections inside there, for example, the tips one that I just pasted, I suspect that would be open.
Some are, some aren't.
Yeah, some are.
So the first time I only got the ones where you can't edit. Some you can edit, some you can't. So
I'll look over it when tomorrow or something to see if it can be made more clear what is accessible and what not, and if we haven't forgotten about certain sections that should be user editable. I'll look at that and just make a note of it.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you, everybody. I got to get going. Other things are calling right now.
Yes, same for me.
See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
See you.
See you next week. Thank you. It's nice meeting you all.
Yeah, same for me.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going also, I think, because people are going to arrive at the door in 2 minutes. Yes.
Okay.
Just collect some questions and stuff like that for next time, so that we have stuff to talk about. It's a good thing, or demos to do, or whatever.
Yeah, I'll try to come up with a better config. Now that I got more time, and I could play some of what I'd
love that.
been playing. Yeah,
but your video is much better in the beginning. It's looking good now, and we can all hear you. So it's very good now.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So, bye, Gert.